Welcome to Overthinking the American Song Contest. I'm Matt Rather. So Qualifier 4 is the only one that doesn't have a big name performing, unless you have Crystal Method on your gym playlist. Next week certainly does have a big name, and I cannot overemphasize how excited all of us are about this one. We would bet money that the producers tried to get someone famous to represent one of the states tonight and that somehow it fell through. We wouldn't blame anyone for not wanting to come on this show because it's not fun to get publicly humiliated on live TV. Macy Gray won a Grammy, guys, and she got passed over by the jury and the public voting in favor of these no-names. Same with Jewel.
But that's not the end of the story.
Yes, it is the end of the story, Jewel. You're done. This is a very different experience than when you appear as a guest on The Voice and everybody just talks about what an honor it is to learn from you.
Camila's a platinum-selling artist. She's won Latin Grammys. She's performed all around the world.
So let's talk about the results from last week. We're happy to say that Alabama's Nico, our personal pick, made the cut. They had a great song and great taste in YouTube videos. Good luck in the semis, guys. They're joined by Riker Lynch, who must be feeling pretty good right now.
Do you care to surrender now, Captain?
And Grant Nochi, who mobilized an army of Kids Bop devotees to get the nod. Okay, guys, let's get started with a very Eurovision-esque number. It has giant drums.
This is your moment to shine.
Now that R. Kelly has been canceled, the pop music landscape has a gaping hole in it. I Believe I Can Fly was everyone's go-to inspirational song about rising triumphantly above life's challenges. Now that it's dropped out of rotation, what music can we play to lift us up? Lenny, this song seems more about flying to escape problems rather than overcome them. Sorry, Creed, the world is not ready for an ironic revival of your music. Get in line behind Smash Mouth and Nickelback. So the field is still wide open, and Mari gives it her best shot. The music is upbeat, and the lyrics make repeated use of words like warrior, fighter, and survivor.
I'm a fighter, a survivor. Rise up, rise up.
I feel like this song and Feel the Love by Riker Lynch from Colorado should be in their own separate contest for end credit song in a kid's animated movie. So this song is all fine and good, but it is in stark contrast to her earlier work.
You see, no tienes plata, entonces no hay nada. If you can't afford me, then you could be my dada. Yeah.
Perhaps it's best to think of Fly as a sequel to Chicas Malas. She fell in some hard times, she got into trouble, but she picked herself up, dusted herself off, and now she's ready to spread her wings and fly. Before going platinum in the mid-90s, electronic music act The Crystal Method were University of Las Vegas college students and radio DJs. So The Crystal Method is not only one of this week's ringers, it's also local, homegrown Nevada music. You may recognize its 20 years of beats from every scene in a 90s and 2000s movie with a shootout in a modern dance club, or from many, many video games. But The Crystal Method might be most beloved in America's weight rooms. These guys are the unofficial soundtrack for people in tank tops yelling, "Go for it! One more! Push! Push!" And now watch how they tear through America Vision's friendly pop vibe like a one-rep max bench press tears through limitations and shoulder ligaments. To test if the Crystal Method can still handle the gym, we matched up their entry, Watch Me Now, with a mix of their songs from the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s in a 20-minute high-intensity kettlebell circuit. And while other songs might get you more amped up for that big lift, or get you more pure speed on the spin bike, Watch Me Now still brings the grit and grind to get your swole on. More importantly, with the blinding lights, the relentless adrenaline, the vague allusions to violence, and reserving its biggest stage for acts that were huge 20 or 30 years ago, this song is a worthy musical messenger from Las Vegas to the world.
When love goes bad and life gets mad, you just can't hold back the sad girl.
This song reminds us of two Smokey Robinson Motown jams, Tracks of My Tears and Tears of a Clown. In both songs, Smokey talks about how he's happy on the outside, but inside, he's miserable. Actually, it's kind of weird how that guy had two hit songs about how he's really depressed. Has anyone checked on Smokey recently? Is he okay?
They call me the life of the party.
So Savannah clearly has a great country voice. In fact, the highest compliment we can pay Savannah is that she reminds us of someone we see nearly every commercial break. The voice, the blonde hair, the rhinestone top. Are we sure she's not representing the territory of Dollywood? It's interesting to compare and contrast this song with last week's New Jersey song, I Don't Take Pictures Anymore, which was another song about a depressed 20-something. The difference is that Brooke's song was about someone who isn't interested in putting on a front anymore.
No one else can stay out dance as long as I did. Now I'd rather hang on in the bottom, get invited.
Savannah's song is nothing but front.
Got a million shades of happy, plenty to go around.
We can't help but see this as a cultural difference. Jersey girls are notoriously hard-edged. The ideal country girl, on the other hand, is a cheerleader. Country girls don't get to be publicly sad, any more than country boys get to publicly drive a Prius. To be a sad girl is to be pitied and shunned, which of course would be adding insult to injury. We have to say, the New Jersey way of dealing with sadness is a lot healthier. Credit where credit is due, NBC did its homework in selecting a song to represent DC. Gogo music is a type of funk that is unique to the region. Perhaps the quintessential Gogo song was 1988's Da Butt, off the soundtrack for Spike Lee's School Days. It was, indeed, about butts. The last major Gogo hit was the 1996 party anthem, Let Me Clear My Throat. DJ Kool is indeed a Washington, D.C. native. And neither is ready to show his DC roots. In an April 9 tweet, he said, I'm not a diehard Gogo head like my parents, but if the DMV is being represented on TV, we are bringing the culture to TV. DMV, by the way, stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia, representing the wider DC sphere of influence. Unfortunately, we doubt this song is going to catapult Gogo music into the national spotlight. Neither seems like a charismatic dude, but he's struggling to sing his own song, despite a generous backing track. And his backup dancers only serve to cast a painful spotlight on his own attempts at dancing.
Come on and get them hands up, 'cause it's the DMV day. Come on.
So, Da Butt, your status as the Mona Lisa of Gogo music is secure. Bring up Massachusetts music, and you might mean classic rock, indie punk, St. Patrick's Day fistfights, or John Williams, but it is also the birthplace of the modern boy band. New Edition redefined the boy band in the 70s and 80s. New Kids on the Block brought it around the world in the 80s and 90s. And later, when they reunited, but before he was on Americavision, Jared Lee wrote for and produced NKOTB. The Bay State's entry isn't a boy, and he's not a band, but stylistically, he's a boy band. And Shameless is a boy band song, an R&B-influenced ballad about a posturing bro who is utterly confident in his worldview, but baffled to have actual feelings. By the way, that's the psychological profile for every man in Boston.
It's not your fault. I know.
But in performing what is essentially a boy band song solo, Lee seems doomed from the start. The multiple lines of harmonizing backup vocals want to pass focus back and forth, but he sings alone and fades them all the way back. He stands in a vacant laserscape that is begging for choreography, but barely moves, except for holding the boy band L to his chest. Picture this song with four guys, all dancing and singing in unison, maybe wearing partially matching outfits that still leave room for individual style, and you've got something. A cute one, a rebel, a big brother, a Wahlberg, something.
I'm shameless in love.
Well guys, let's call it a day here and pick it up tomorrow with one of our favorite songs, DIY. In the meantime, DIY don't you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll see you next time.